Hi everyone, my name's Roya Habashi from your Spring 2024 Psych 101 course, and this presentation is going to be on family and couples therapy, and later I will relate it to anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and specific phobia disorder. First, I want to start by defining what family therapy is. Family therapy is group therapy between family members, King 2022. These therapies and interventions are very wide range based on a family's education, background, religion, possible psychiatric disorders, etc. Therapists first try to have the families understand the root of the issue, such as understanding the basics of what the psychiatric disorder at hand is, what the physical condition is, and they do this through something called psychoeducation, where they give a prognosis, the symptoms, and basically all the details that have to do with this root issue before actually tackling it head on between the family members. A prominent cause of the problems between both families and couples therapy is poor communication, which is where a therapist steps in to mediate, understand, and solve the problems at hand. Family therapy can range from more simple interventions, which are maybe one or a few sessions that are needed to facilitate an open communication with brief counseling of the expectations at hand, to even more complex interventions that may take longer to address, such as pregnancy concerns, differences in job prospects that may have, one of the members of the family or couples move away and have a different lifestyle, a physical, emotional, or mental disorder of a family member, and many more. Varghese 2020. It is important to note, however, that no matter what convention a therapist may take in their therapy sessions, they are not trying to find a single cause of the issue. They would rather maintain a relationship in solving multiple problems. They are not there to point fingers and say who is right and who is wrong, but maybe what could be done differently, such as offering different ways to communicate, maybe some ideas, and educating the members on a chronic or neurotic condition that may be stimulating the family dysfunction. There are 4 key techniques to family therapy, so I'm going to go through each one, starting with validation. Validation is when the therapist understands and listens to each family member and gives each a sense of understanding. So they have a positivity to bring to each person's perspective. King 2022. The next step is reframing, where the therapist reconfigures seemingly individual problems into a more family problem, to show how each family member may contribute to the issue at hand, rather than blaming a single individual. The third technique is structural change. This is when therapists have couples or families work in union with one another, such as trying to go out once a week on a date to reach balance between their home life and busy work life. Or if there's a parent who's maybe more strict than the other, the therapist will coach their significant other to relieve their partner of some of this responsibility and actually share it between them, so no one is keyed as the bad guy. And finally, detriangulation. This is where one family member can be coined as the scapegoat for the family. Like, for example, if there's a child and two parents can end up scapegoating their child. So changing the dynamic of blaming the one and taking a look into the relationships between, so getting rid of that kind of triangular shape, is a key to this unity. Moving on to couples therapy. Couples therapy is group therapy between married or unmarried couples, where the problem or disconnect in the relationship is within the relationship itself rather than from outside influences. King 2022. There are many different approaches to couples therapy, but it primarily incorporates separate communication with individual partners as well as group communication. This type of therapy evolved from techniques used in both family and individual therapy and eventually adapted to the needs of couples. So, what might have influenced the popularity of couples therapy? Couples therapy became very prominent in 2011 when 40 to 50% of marriages were reported to end in divorce in the United States, and has been increasing globally since the 1970s. LeBeau 2022. Couples therapy has also become more prominent with the advancement of relationships, where way back then, a marriage or relationship between two people was more of a contract deal, where the partners can tolerate each other more than actually hold value and expectations. Relationships now hold the expectation that they support each other, love each other, and enjoy everyday life with one another, rather than it being a simple task. Sherilyn, 2009. Couples therapy can be used alone or in conjunction with other treatments. There are different fields of couples therapy, also based on specific kinds of couples. This can be like a step family, different sexual orientations, divorced and remarried couples. LeBeau 2022. But there are still two effective approaches to couples therapy, in which can also be found in family therapy. And these are cognitive behavioral couple therapy, or CBCT, and emotion-focused couple therapy, EFCT. Bodenman, 2020. CBCT relies on principles from social learning theories and focuses on the interplay between partners' cognitions, behaviors, and emotional responses to help them improve their communication and problem solving. Epstein, 2017. This type of therapy tackles the improvement of skills between the couple, like communication skills, problem solving, which in turn improve the overall quality of the relationship and mitigate emotional agony. It utilizes knowledge on behavior, empirical research findings, and pinpoints that a dissatisfaction and negative emotion such as anger and sadness, leads to behaviors such as violence, defensiveness, and disassociation that all in all result for the need for intervention, whether it be couples therapy or just giving up on the relationship as a whole. Emotion-focused couple therapy, EFCT, is experiential, humanistic, and systemic therapy grounded in attachment theory and social neuroscience. Epstein, 2017. This type of therapy yearns to build new emotional experiences between couples, where problems in a relationship can be fixed through the validation of the other partner by their partner, reorganizing their interaction patterns. This is where a couple is at a place where working together and understanding each other's emotions in harmony and individually is important, like learning to self-regulate one's reactions or attachment needs. Couples therapy now draws advice from relational science, where psychotherapists understand communication processes, behavior exchanges, and attachment, to name a few. LeBeau, 2022. So now let's relate my first project PowerPoint on generalized anxiety, panic disorder, and specific phobia disorder to now this therapy of family and couples therapy. A correlation was found between mood disorders, anxiety disorders, and substance disorders with troubled relationships. Bodman 2020. These disorders have a significant potential to lead to problems in emotional and physical health. This is where cognitive behavioral techniques and psychoeducation comes in, where a partner or family member must be educated on the disorder, its prognosis, its causes, symptoms, and how to react to one who has the disorder and comfort their partner in a way that works for them. In turn, this mitigates the situation that usually leads to aggression and a possible breakout of uncontrolled emotional spiraling. Many of these disorders, especially the ones we talked about of general anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and specific phobia, can actually stem from marital and family dysfunction, which we talked about in my previous presentation. Situations of domestic abuse, influence from family members, whether it's heritable or emotional, is what will create that cascade of more and more issues in that individual's life, and maybe in their family's life, their children's life, on and on. So this is why this therapy is very important, psychotherapy, and educating through psychoeducation and truly understanding what they are dealing with, whether it needs to be pharmacologically or holistically handled, and how to keep it at bay and keep relationships smooth sailing. And here are some of my references. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed my presentations.